An unlikely water rescue in Roachport, how the survivors are recovering tonight.
A Cole County scam accuses you of missing jury duty and then makes you pay.
And the downtown Fulton Brick District will continue to grow after a state initiative. KOMU 8 News at 10 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Freezing temperatures test firefighters, and this afternoon they were put to a test that they don't often see, an icy rescue and an attempt to save 6 cows. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Julia Plant. KOMU 8's Andrea Gonzalez was in Roachport moments after firefighters pulled out half of the animals. She's here with the details.
When I got to Waymire Road in Roachport, the Boone County Fire Protection District and the University of Missouri Vet Center were working together to keep 2 cows from dying of hypothermia after falling into the water. Rescuers were able to pull 3 out, but one of those did not survive. 3 others died under the water. These are pictures from the fire department's Facebook page before I got there. As you can see, the cows were submerged in the water. The firefighters used fire hoses, ropes, and harnesses to pull the cows out of the water. When I was on the scene, I saw the 3 cows that were unable to be retrieved in the pond. The other 3 were covered in hay and tarps. 2 were being comforted and warmed by veterinarians and firefighters, while the other one lay dead alongside of them. A heat generator was on site to also warm the animals, but there were problems with that machine. Firefighters say animal rescue missions aren't common, but when it's cold, they could potentially see more.
It's a concern that we have.
I was told that members of the fire department are trained to deal with these situations and frequently work with veterinarians during that training. Many of the firefighters have years of experience in animal rescue.
A jury duty scam is making its way through Cole County. At least a dozen people have been targeted, and one Jefferson City woman is out $500. KOMU 8's Marissa Balmas is in the studio to tell us more about the scam and what's next for the victims.
Well, unfortunately for those victims, there really isn't much that comes next. I talked to the Cole County Sheriff's Department, who started getting calls on Monday from residents receiving these odd letters. And these letters said that residents had missed either a court date or a jury duty date. Instead of appearing in court, they could pay a fine to Green Dot. Now, Green Dot is a corporation that issues prepaid Visa cards. The Sheriff's Department is working with Green Dot Corporate Security to attempt to track down the source of the scam. But once money is sent, there's not a whole lot that can be done. The Sheriff's Department is continuing to investigate. Lieutenant Hill says if you've received a suspicious letter, don't send any money, but contact authorities.
Columbia police have issued arrest warrants for 2 more suspects in connection to the shooting death of 23-year-old Dante Tolston. 20-year-old Jemiah Lambert of Columbia and 17-year-old Derek Copeland of New Orleans, Louisiana, face second-degree murder charges in that case. Police do not believe that they're in the Columbia area and say that they should be considered armed and dangerous. If you come into contact with either of them, police ask you to contact your local law enforcement. In the meantime, the Columbia Police Department arrested 21-year-old Martell Smith of Columbia in the 2900 block of Lawn Ridge Court yesterday. Police arrested Smith for second-degree murder in connection with the killing of Tolston last week. Police say that a woman found Tolston with a gunshot wound at his home on Newton Drive in Columbia last Thursday. He was pronounced dead early Friday morning at a hospital. Family members and friends started a memorial at the scene of the shooting last week to remember Tolston. Columbia police have not released a motive. Police say that they've responded to shots fired in the neighborhood before, but this is the first murder there in years.
10 years.
Police have not released further details on this investigation.
The murder trial of the wife of a former Mid-Missouri police officer began today. 38-year-old Sandra Plunkett will be tried in Callaway County for first-degree murder. Although she is being tried in Callaway County, the jury was chosen in a different county. The Jefferson City News Tribune reports that Plunkett is charged with killing former Jefferson City police officer Paul Plunkett in January of 2011 at their Holt Summit home.
A Kansas City mother pleaded guilty to child abuse charges today after her daughter was found malnourished in a closet. 30-year-old Jacole Prince pleaded guilty to abuse, assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. She will serve no more than 20 years in prison. Authorities found the 10-year-old girl, identified as LP, severely malnourished and living in her own feces back in 2012. She weighed about a third of what a child her age should weigh.
A trial date has been set for the man accused of sexual misconduct with a child. Sedalia police arrested 67-year-old Edward Frederick in August. He's charged with statutory sodomy, child molestation, and sexual misconduct involving a child. Authorities said the victim involved was under the age of 12. Frederick is scheduled to be in court on the various charges May 6th in Pettis County. Prior to his trial, Frederick is due in court April 21st for a pre-trial conference. An Amtrak train traveling from St. Louis to Kansas City collided with a tractor-trailer today near Kirkwood. This is what the scene looked like shortly after the accident. 59 passengers and 4 crew members were on board the train, but thankfully no one was injured. The track was pushed about 30 feet after the crash, which happened just east of the Kirkwood train station. We still don't know what caused the accident.
Columbia could be getting yet another student housing complex. Developers from the New York-based Park 7 group are eyeing 43 acres of land on Cinnamon Hill Lane. It's right near the intersection of Highway 63 and Stadium Boulevard, around the location of the Domain, which is a student housing complex that opened up just last fall. It's near the Hampton Inn Hotel, just off the exit north of Stadium Boulevard. Current plans for the complex call for an 899-bed student apartment complex. The issue was delayed at last night's city council meeting because representatives from the company could not make it because of the weather. The city council will discuss the proposal at its January 21st meeting.
The Columbia City Council did vote to increase its renewable energy standards. The amended ordinance says changing the amount of renewable energy sources cannot increase residential utility rates by more than 3% of what Water and Light would pay without including new renewable sources. Water and Light officials say they do not anticipate the new goals leading to higher bills.
Portfolio.
The new goal means 15% of the city's electricity should come from renewable resources by 2017 and 25% by 2022.
Well, those freezing temperatures have allowed for some uncommon outdoor winter activities in Columbia. You can do more than just sledding right now. The city of Columbia has opened up its lakes this week for ice skating and ice fishing. Stevens and Bethel lakes are open for the sports when temperatures are low enough to freeze them. The city requires ice on top of the lake to be at least 4 inches deep before they can be open for ice sports. Several people we spoke with said that they did not plan to go out on the lakes, and so we wanted to know how the city makes sure that this ice is safe.
Our crews today there.
The Parks and Recreation Department urges residents to use caution if you do plan on ice skating or fishing on the lakes.
Well, compared to yesterday, today felt, dare I say it, a little warm. Rosie's here to let us know if we can expect even warmer temperatures tomorrow.
It looks like we are going to be on a slow warming. I'll give you better details coming up later in this newscast.
The Fulton Brick District area will soon see some major improvements. Why business owners think the changes are necessary to keep up with demand.
And a Utah trooper almost died on the road last December. We'll show you the video of his near-death experience. A state-sponsored program that enhances downtown areas across Missouri concluded its initiative last fall to restore the Fulton Brick District area. Now local programs are picking up the pieces where the state workers left off. KOMU8's Paige Travis explains how the Fulton Entrepreneurial Initiative is working to help new businesses hit the ground running.
The biggest growth is with our new book sales and also sort of gift items.
Brian Warren is...
The Callaway Bank in Fulton plans to invest in new business owners purchasing property in the Brick District. We'll be right back.
A Virginia woman was murdered with a crossbow while visiting a man in Kentucky today. Police say the man shot and killed the woman and then used a gun to kill himself. Investigators were called to the house this morning and found the couple dead inside. Authorities believe the two were in their 30s. Investigators say the man's uncle witnessed the killings and was taken in for questioning.
A Utah Highway Patrol trooper was almost killed last December after a big rig jackknifed right in front of his car just south of Salt Lake City. His dashboard camera recorded the entire accident, and now the Utah Highway Patrol released the video. Devin Dolan reports.
Trooper Nolan Kerr has patrolled Utah's highways for the last 4.5 years. An average day for him looks like this. Here he stops a motorist for unsafe lane change. His job is to keep other drivers safe on the road. But on this day, it was his life that almost needed saving.
When I reviewed that video and realized how close it was, then that's kind of when the shock hit me, and that's when I realized that I was about 30 feet from not making it home.
Kerr was approaching an accident on I-15 near the point of the mountain. He turned on his emergency lights to try and warn other drivers, and that's when he heard the sound of squealing brakes.
There's not much scarier than the sound of semi brakes.
Watch again. The semi skids into the concrete barrier, tries to swerve to miss it, but the back end collides. The driver of the semi later said he didn't see the slowing traffic in time. His eyes were on the emergency lights on Kerr's patrol car.
And that slight distraction, he ended up almost costing other people their lives.
During a 2-second distraction, a vehicle traveling at 65 miles per hour will have covered 2/3 the length of a football field blindly. If Trooper Kerr stopped only a few feet further,
I wouldn't be here today. He would have hit the side of my car. He would have pushed me into a barrier, and there wouldn't have been too much hope.
The Hickman QBs took on the Battle Spartans tonight. Stay tuned in sports to see which Columbia team pulled out the victory.
After being found dumped by the side of the road together, a dog and cat now have a uniquely strong bond. The cat, named Ruth, can't use her back legs, and the dachshund, now called Iggy, will not leave the cat's side. Their names come from characters from the movie Fried Green Tomatoes.
Oh, that's actually really sweet. Just a reminder, of course, pets a little bit more worrisome, especially if you've got an outdoor cat or dog. The last couple of days have been really, really tough on pets here across mid-Missouri. Thankfully, though, things are looking up just a little bit. Let's take another peek at current temperatures here across mid-Missouri. Yes, I realize that Macon looks very cold at this time, and you can actually kind of see those color contours, guys. It looks just a little bit cooler on our northeastern side. The good news is that we're kind of punching that Arctic air away. I'd like to say that we have something to do with it. We probably don't. But the good news is that warmer temperatures are on the way for us, and we'll have updates for you all day tomorrow with snow moving back into mid-Mo.
All right. Thanks, Rosie. And thank you so much for joining us.
Have a wonderful night.